The very worst of 2012 for WWE.
This is the very worst of WWE 2012.
I compiled a list of the very worst of this company. I know, it's a crazy idea. How could this company be terrible, right? Right? No, the crazy thing is how I'm going to find just one person for each category, or one thing for each category. That did make up my list of the very worst of 2012. Anyway, I've got a few categories that I'd like to get through here before this show ends. Shorter than I thought it was going to be. Anyway, let's get into this. And the worst female wrestler of the year. For this one, it wasn't too hard because most of the women on the roster are fucking terrible and can't wrestle. But then again, there's been some decent characters this year, and Eve, and she actually hasn't been too bad. And Caitlyn, after giving that blowjob to Roddy Piper, she's shown what she's capable of. And AJ, ignoring her unbearable parts, hasn't been too bad this year, and at least it's another piece of ass I can look at while I'm watching Raw. Yeah, feminazis are coming for me now. Hooray. Anyway, my pick for the worst female wrestler of the year is Rosa Mendez. Because nobody wants to fuck her or give her flowers. Just ask Hornswoggle. Ooh, hey there. Somebody's just watching me. Anyway, before I'm murdered, I should get through the rest of this. Rosa Mendez is awful. She's terrible, okay? You get the point. She can't really wrestle, and, yeah. The woman took a beating in and out of the ring, and she didn't sell either all too well. Worst tag team of the year. For this, WWE has actually been on the upswing of things as far as tag teams go. They're reviving the tag teams for once this year and actually sticking to it. We've had a great year for tag teams for the first time since, I don't know, 2003 or something is the last time tag teams have been decent, but it's also not too hard to find some of the worst tag teams because they're still kind of just throwing people together, which is why the winners for worst tag team of the year are Santino and Zack Ryder. Woo, woo, woo. I have no fucking clue why these two are a tag team. Woo. Two guys that I absolutely hate crammed into one tag team for no apparent reason. Perfect. Hooray. We have found our winners. Don't really need to explain this in depth, but because I'm sure everyone else would agree with me that they're a terrible tag team. Worst tag team of the year? Maybe not, but yeah, they are in my book. Worst feud. This is what I've been waiting for right here, because I got a lot of shit to throw at this. Anyway, this year has been terrible. As far as entertainment goes in WWE, the feuds have been awful and mostly comprised of people just returning whenever they run out of ideas, beating down John Cena, and then not giving an explanation for it because other people just interrupt before they can give the explanation, and then they never give the explanation because creative has no idea. But anyway, I think you know where I'm going with this. The worst feud of the year is John Cena versus John Laurinaitis. More people were buried and ruined in this angle than a year's worth of Triple H matches. Big Show, John Cena, whatever. Anyway, Brock Lesnar's star power was significantly damaged after such a climactic return. Big Show was heralded as unstoppable and went on to lose every single fucking pay-per-view match for 6 months straight. Hooray, it's John Cena and another authority figure feud where he just sends out other people to attack him. John Cena became even more detestable and difficult to watch, and the feud never really made sense, nor did it reach a conclusion. In summary, it was a giant pile of shit, much like Cena's current angle, only more drawn out and convoluted. This feud turned me off from wrestling for the better part of this year, and it deserves to be recognized by this podcast as the worst storyline moment of 2012. Most poorly handled talent. There's a lot of people over the years that they haven't handled all too well, and a lot of people that had potential were showing that potential, and WWE just floundered or completely ignored them. There's a lot of people. I could name off a huge list of people that never got their shot, never had that moment to get over, and were never quite close to being at the top. Which is why my pick for the most poorly handled talent of the year is Dolph Ziggler. What's that? The guy's beginning to get over with the fans without turning face. You say he's ready for the main event? We should get rid of his ties with Vicky. Ha! I've got the perfect idea. Let's saddle him with an equally annoying female talent and yet another love interest angle. WWE Star Creation 101. Ziggler, though, had all the potential in the world, and instead they continued to saddle him with tired old gimmicks and hinder his talents. The guy could easily be in the main event right now, but instead he's floundering in the mid-card weekly while jobbing to Cena on nearly every occasion. Worst male wrestler. There's been a lot of terrible wrestlers this past year that WWE is showcased. I can name several. David Otunga, Titus O'Neil. But there's none quite as terrible as this man. And some of you may know where I'm going with this. A lot of you probably don't, which is why my pick for worst male wrestler of the year is the Great Khali. He's immobile, he can't talk, and even in his own language. And he's getting more television time than ever. Sounds like the average brilliant decision from creative. Although I described Cena as void of any entertainment value, that only pertains to his character. Like it or not, Cena has had some damn good matches this year, and a wrestler isn't solely defined as his speaking and acting ability. It also includes, believe it or not, wrestling ability. Khali, however, does not have a single one of those. In conclusion, though, 2012 was fucking terrible. I came up with these awards, and the winners off the top of my head, and I could have easily named several more nominations in each category. WWE showed a glimmer of hope every few months or so, only to ruin it with John Cena or some half-assed creative decision. In the past week, I took the liberty of watching the Attitude Era, an era I completely missed out on. Literally everything in that era was over, aside from D'Lo Brown, and I enjoyed every match and segment I saw. I cannot even remotely say the same for the current product, as I struggle to find something entertaining in the weekly installments of Raw. And I find it hard to understand how fans who experienced the 90s firsthand could continue to watch this garbage. It may be professional wrestling, but there is no excuse for the garbage that I subject myself to on a weekly basis. Perhaps I say it far too much on the show, but professional wrestling is honestly the worst form of entertainment there is. Monday Night Raw has only delivered twice this entire year, and it doesn't appear to be stepping up in quality anytime soon. With the constant promises of an edgier product, all I see is a constant reminder of everything I hate about this product. A show that was once edgy and innovative has lowered itself to lowbrow, clumsy angles and ineffective, broken characters. WWE will never be as great as it was for those 3 to 4 years it was the ratings giant. At this point, the company will be lucky to claim that they sold out at WrestleMania 40. When the last of yesterday's stars are unable to compete, WWE will finally meet its end. They have been unable to create a single star since John Cena, and not a single moment from this year, aside from the Lesnar return, has been memorable. In summary, the company that once delivered in every segment is absolutely incapable of creating a single compelling moment or engaging the fans. It is my sole wish that WWE dies within the next year or something has drastically changed, as I see no hope for the company's future. And on that note, fuck the company, and fuck me for putting myself through this week in and week out. That was the very worst of WWE 2012. Thank you.